Hello ladies, today I'm just going to talk to you a little bit more about Hostess Coaching. So we all know how important Hostess Coaching is to our party, not just for us, but also for our hostess. And I want to make sure I do the best Hostess Coaching because I know if my hostess gets excited from all the free stuff she's going to get, she's going to talk to her friends about it, and then that's going to make booking parties easier for me. So 31 has some great tools in place. The Hostess Coaching checklist, which we've already been talking about on the other calls, is just a great tool. I use this in my calendar. I fill it out as soon as they book their party, and I just stick it in my calendar. And that way I always have my hostess information with me at all times. So if I have an extra 5 minutes while I'm sitting in line picking up my kids, or if I'm in the parking lot anywhere, or just out and about, I can always usually have 5 minutes to sit down and make a couple of Hostess Coaching calls. So, and it's really simple. So I just follow this, and number 3, which is 1 or 2 days before your party, it just talks about what to do step by step. So the first thing is I call her and I make sure that I have the date and time of her party right. I make sure that I have her address correct because I don't want to be showing up to the wrong house or anything like that. And I just want to make it easier. So I also talk to her about keeping her party simple. So I want her to not stress out and, worried about cooking too much food or anything, because honestly, people don't eat the food. They're there to visit with each other, and I don't want her to worry about any of that. And I also don't want her friends to come over and her have all this food there and them to think that that's what they have to do. So after we talk about that, I let her know what time I'm going to arrive at the party. So I typically like to get there about 30 minutes beforehand. That gives me time to set up, and then I have a few minutes to visit with her before everybody arrives. So, and again, I just try to keep it really simple. I let her know that I don't set up a big display or anything, and that she doesn't need to be rearranging her furniture or anything like that, making room for me. Next thing, I talk to her about her wish list. So if I haven't already gotten her wish list, even if I have, a lot of times I'll just run through it with her, make sure that I have everything correct. I want to make sure that I'm able to bring those products to her party. And then I also want to make sure I'm talking about those products at her party, because if I get her excited about it, then her friends are going to get excited about it too. So then I also talk to her about what friends that she is going to have coming to her party. So I don't want to be talking about diaper bags to a bunch of retired ladies. So I just really try to get to know the hostess and what friends that she's going to have coming to the party. And I remind her that if somebody says that they're not going to make it to the party, that she can just ask them if they'd like to see a catalog, tell them what the special is. So that way she's not being pushy. I'm just really telling her what to say, because I think a lot of times people don't want to come across being pushy, but just tell her that, not to worry about that, that you're just telling them what a good special we have that month. The next thing, I let her know that I'm going to be sending her another red stamp. I usually do a save the date, and then I follow it up with a reminder red stamp. So usually the day before, I will text her the red stamp, and then makes it easy for her to text out to her friends to remind them of the party the next day. So then the last thing I do is I really start updating the Facebook event. So I usually try to post in there, every day or, every other day, and then the day before the event, I'll post in there 2 or 3 times, and then the day of the event, I'll post in there several times too. And I make sure that my hostess is really working with me on that, because if I'm not that person, her friend's friend, then they weren't going to see my comments on their timeline. So, and I want to make sure that her friends see that. So if she comments on my photos or my posts or something like that, then her friends will actually see that. So that's what I just make sure that she's on board with it and she understands how that works too. And I just tell her, she can comment, "That's really cute," or "I love that," and just tell her, she can keep it pretty simple. So that is the main things that I do a day or 2 before my party. Again, I just really want to make sure that my hostess is excited about everything, and just follow it up to see if she has any questions. So those are my tips today. Thanks.